I'm in this industry because I'm not good at physical labor. I'm in this industry because I don't want to go to an office every day. This is as dressed up as I've been all week.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I put on my nice hoodie for you today. A lot of people get into the industry because there's so many people on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They're like, I work an hour a day and I make 300 G's a month. It's like, that's not realistic. Do we know guys that do that? 100%. Is it possible? 100%. Does it take a ton of work? 100%. And you don't see that work. In this industry, there's such a herd mentality.
100%.
Right? Where it's like, when I got into this industry, affiliate marketers I idolized as rock stars because they were not afraid to push the envelope, to test new things, new angles. They wanted to be the first to market on everything. And I feel that over time, the industry shifted in a way where there's a lot of risk-averse affiliates out there who, unless somebody else is already doing something, they don't want to try anything new. It's not worth the risk. I learned back then while doing that, I zigged when everybody else was zagging. And I have kept that mentality with me my entire career. If everybody's moving one way, I like to move the other way.
Shout out to our sponsors, because without them, this shit wouldn't be possible. Shout out to Ringba. Shout out to Adam Young, the pay-per-call revolution. There's big, big money in pay-per-call, whether you're someone who's a novice looking to get into it, whether you're someone who's already doing it, putting up big numbers. Let's fucking do this, guys. Get the fucking book on Amazon. We're going to drop a link here. Take your shit to the next level. Let's fucking go.
Guys, it's Boris. I'm on the LFG show. Don't forget, we have Contact.io coming up, the biggest and best show for call centers. If you're going to be in Denver, you need to use promo code LFG.
Let's fucking go, baby. Save $200. Put that promo code in. Get there. Make a lot of money. See Boris and I. Let's fucking make this happen.
We'll be there.
Yo, we're back, guys. This time we're in Delray Beach. We're at a spot called Opportunities, having some drinks over here. I'm with my man, Shaun Hall. This guy's a veteran in the space. You've been in the space 11, 12 years?
12
like
years,
that?
man.
That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking years, man.
All the grays, that's all from this industry, man.
Bro, I've been in this shit 8, 9 years, man. You got me beat, man. There's not a lot of people like that. So
here I am.
So he's a VP of revenue at Diablo Media, a great company, made Inc. 500 numerous times. He won an award of one of the best work environments in the country, which I want to talk about later. So
yeah,
it's really a pleasure having you on the show because listen, it's good to have a vet that's been, I mean, you've been as an affiliate manager, VP of Rev. You've done so many different things, man. So I think this is going to be a very valuable show for our audience, you know, beginners, people, a lot of experience. And we're going to run the whole gamut, man. So I'm pumped to have you on the show, but man.
I'm pumped to be here. This is literally a dream of mine.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, come New York, y'all better go home with the trophy at the AFI Expo.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
This better win right here. LFG show better take home the hardware. Darren, I'm looking at you. Mike, I'm looking at you.
Watching you, bro.
Make it happen. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to like share some knowledge and some industry knowledge and, you know, just see what kind of value we can bring today.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the shot. I don't know where you were going with that, man. We were saying about New York. I'm thinking like a million different things in New York. I didn't expect us to talk about that, so that means a lot, my man.
Listen, we're nominated for Agency of the Year.
Nice.
Diablo is. I hope we take home the hardware. I hope you guys take home the hardware.
Let's go.
And then we celebrate together. I'm getting my tux cleaned.
Nice.
I'm gonna go straight black tie on this.
When is that a Saturday or Sunday?
I think it's a Sunday.
Yeah, I gotta get prepared for that, man. I'm coming from Europe, bro. You know what's funny? I changed my whole. We were supposed to come back from Europe like the 28th or some shit. My whole family. I'm like, we gotta come back earlier, so we're coming back the 26th. I'm going from Europe. We're gonna go to New York, go back to Miami, and then I'll come back the next day, man. Fucking dedication,
Listen,
bro.
That is dedication, and I appreciate so much.
Yeah.
You not making me schlep to Miami. I'm a Delray Beach guy. I stay in Delray Beach. I'm incoming chair of the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce here in Delray Beach.
Wow.
I don't like to leave Delray if I don't have to. So I appreciate you guys coming up today and making this happen here at my favorite spot here in Delray Beach.
Yeah, no, great spot. Let's do a cheers before we get into
this.
Cheers.
Oh, geez.
What are you drinking, by the way?
I've got an Imperial Stout, 11.5% ABV on this one.
Oh, wow, you're going hardcore.
I'm going straight gasoline here.
I started with something from Doral, or otherwise known as Dorazuela, for the high Venezuelan population. My mom's from Venezuela. I started with this. It was a little too sweet, so I switched up to this Pilsner. Like 5%. I'm not going to get too nuts. You know, it is what it is.
Well, you know.
Well, good stuff. Let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it.
So let's talk about your journey, right? I mean, And I want to, you know what I want to do? I've been getting a lot of good feedback about the show, but a couple of the newbies are like, they want me to like explain a little more what these things are. Like when I talk about affiliate manager, native, we'll talk about all this stuff. So let's go back to your journey, how you got into it. And then if we got to go back to layman's terms on some things, we will.
Oh, no, let's go back. So prior to getting into this industry, I was working for Scott's Miracle-Gro, big Fortune 500 company. Started as a seasonal door-to-door salesman. I've always been good at sales, always been in sales, worked my way up to the top door-to-door sales guy in Florida, top door-to-door sales guy in the country. Yeah. Moved inside, became the #1 revenue generator in the entire organization.
You mean inside sales?
Inside sales.
That's pretty amazing because it's hard to find salespeople that can do both. Yep. I'm way better over the phone. I don't know even anymore, but I've been door-to-door is hard for me, but over the phone I was like different personality. So the fact that you can do, it's like being a great switch hitter that can hit, home runs from both sides. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I've always just had a knack for sales, and I've always been a people person. So when I got into that, it was great. And what ended up killing that relationship was the fact that one year we blew our numbers out of the water. My boss at the time got a very large, sizable bonus. My bonus, right, because it was my work, before taxes was $800.
Jeez.
And so I went to him and said, hey, can you throw me any extra money? And he was like, I had the foresight to hire you. And I was like, I have the foresight to quit.
Wow.
So I left. I had a friend of mine at the time who was working for an affiliate network as a graphic designer. And he said, listen, I think we're looking for salespeople. So why don't you interview? So I interviewed, had a really good interview, and went in for my interview. And this is a really funny story. He told me not to dress up too much. So I have a black blazer on, I got a black button down, I got some jeans, some nice black shoes. I walk to this very professional office building, right? I walk in and I instantly assume I'm in the wrong place. Because the first thing I see when I walk in is a ping pong table, a Pop-A-Shot machine, like the little basketball arcade game, and like a full coffee bar. And I was like, not what I was expecting. So I interview, and I knew at that point, I want to work here. I don't know what they do. I don't know why they do it, but I want to work here. So I interviewed. I got the job as distribution manager, which is what they called affiliate managers then. I thought I was going to be packing and shipping boxes. I didn't care because I wanted to work there. And so I spent a year where they beat the car salesman out of me because I was a one-call closer. Oh, you got 5 kids? I got 5 kids. You drive a Corvette? I drive a Corvette, right? Like whatever I had to do to close the deal. But in this industry, as you know, it's all relationships. Yeah. It's all based on trust and understanding that the person that you're working with knows more about what they're talking about than you do. So started out, they spent a year just knocking the car salesman out of me. Every day I had to like pull reports, pull links, adjust payouts, place pixels, really look for trends and really learn the industry inside and out. So when I took over and I had my book of business, I did really well. By the time I left that company, I'd taken that book of what I called my queue of misfit affiliates, right? So new affiliates that were low volume SEO pubs. I mean, we're talking like the bottom of the barrel. And the good thing about a lot of them being new and me being new, and if you're new, I wholly recommend this. Be open and honest. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you making that change? Why did you change this word? Like, ask a lot of questions, right? Because if they're new and you're new, you're learning together, right? And then you grow together. And then you get that one campaign that takes off. And then you guys are high-fiving. And it's like it builds that relationship from the bottom up. I mean, shout out to Ian Smith, who's out there somewhere. He was one of those first guys, and we built that up. Love that guy to death. I still remember it, right? Like, you remember those small early wins.
I do, too. Like, I remember from 20 years ago. I was talking about that earlier, and I was on another IG Live talking about a sale. I got $100,000 sale I got when I was 23. Going back to, you always remember those things, right? Those key moments.
Yeah.
Those, like, pivotal moments, man.
Yeah, him and, like, Matthew Walter, who was in that group. Like, there was a bunch of new guys that are still killing it in the space, right? We all kind of started that area together. And that was kind of my first foray into like affiliate management.
And where was this? Where
this was a company called Ads Direct Media. It was here in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
So this was, you were working in Florida at the
I was
time.
working in Florida, yeah.
Okay.
And that was in an office environment. And like I said, there was a group of people at that company who have gone on to do really big things, started their own company, doing millions and millions of dollars in revenue. Like, it was just a core group of us that just were passionate about the industry and committed to growth, right? It was one of those things where everybody was friends, but we're all competitive with each other. And that's the other thing I love about this industry is like we're all friends, but we're all competing with each other at the same time, right? When we go to Affiliate Summit, I was like, Dave, I made more money than you last year, right? Like, you know, it's this friendly competition.
It motivates you, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it gets
good to
you
know
excited.
other people's numbers. How are you tracking? Are you not? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I did that, and then I bounced around from a few other affiliate networks for a while until I got into media buying myself.
So what year was this that you got into media buying?
I got into media buying probably 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. Started with Facebook. I actually started with one of my affiliates. I started doing grunt work for him on the media buying end, where all I was doing was logging spend, logging revenue, and just putting it all in a spreadsheet. And then I got to the point where I actually built up my own Facebook system. I had a girl in Arkansas, a single mom who I was helping out, who would help me find people to rent their Facebook accounts. She would have them download TeamViewer, do the whole thing, to where we were generating probably 15 to 20 new accounts going into clean spend every week. We had 15 or 20 that were in black hat spend every week because we were running a lot of Nutra, and built that up to, I mean, really a great success until Facebook kind of started changing things around, and then we decided to kind of part ways on that, and that's when I got into native media buying. Got
it, man. Incredible story, and the fact that you've been doing this so long, I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes go on, and I mean, it must be incredible in terms of what it would cost to get a qualified lead then versus now. I mean, so many changes.
Yeah, I mean, not only changes with the traffic platforms itself, but changes with regulations and different policies that have came out, and different governmental regulations that have come out, and the way that credit card processing companies have, and all of the different changes and the ways that we have to duck and dodge to make things happen in this industry has been monumental. I mean, I remember like when I was managing affiliates back then when I first started, you could run NutriTrials white hat on Facebook. Like to even try to think about running something like that white hat is just mind-boggling, right? Yeah. So much has changed.
What were, I mean, you would imagine there must have been affiliates, media buyers putting up huge numbers one of those days you're doing that kind of, what were the offers back then?
We, at the time when I was at Ads Direct, we were running mostly international Nutra straight sales. So at a time when domestic trials were at their peak, we kind of shifted over and we're doing international straight sales.
Can you explain what are the trials or straight sales for the
so for people that are unfamiliar with that, like a trial offer is basically the consumer puts down $4.95, $3.95, whatever it is to get a trial subscription to a weight loss product or a skin cream or something like that. So all they're paying up front is $4.95, but then there's an automatic rebill that happens 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later for like $98 or $128, right? Whereas a straight sale offer, they're just buying 1, 3, 5 bottles up front for the full amount. And what was good about that and what I learned about that is in this industry, there's such a herd mentality.
100%.
Right? Where it's like, when I got into this industry, affiliate marketers I idolized as rock stars because they were not afraid to push the envelope, to test new things, new angles. They wanted to be the first to market on everything. And I feel that over time, the industry shifted in a way where there's a lot of risk-averse affiliates out there who, unless somebody else is already doing something, they don't want to try anything new. It's not worth the risk, right? So I learned back then while doing that, I zigged when everybody else was zagging. And I have kept that mentality with me my entire career. If everybody's moving one way, I like to move the other way. Yeah. And when I was a native media buyer myself, instead of going to my affiliate manager and being like, yo, what's the top converting offer on native right now? I would be like, yo, what's the newest offer you've got that accepts native traffic that you need data on, right? Because sometimes I could get a GEPC deal on that where they would guarantee me a certain EPC to get data. Or I would just be able to run something that nobody else was running. Because the important part on native is your ads are right next to other people's ads. So if there are 3 guys running diabetes offers and they're running the same type of offer, the same type of angle, the same type of headline, it causes ad blindness. Yep. You want to stand out as much as possible. Plus, I don't want my ad being next to other people in the same vertical. And that's why a lot of people with native, not to like derail all of this, asking for a whitelist on something is completely an old school, obsolete mentality. Because you're not zigging where others are zagging. You're zagging where everybody else is at. you're not going to stand out.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, especially now. You know, I know we're talking about Nutra and all this stuff, and lead gen is really my main focus. And what I've seen in relation to what you're saying is that everyone was putting up big numbers on the pay-per-call side, on ACA, insurance, and then there's all this new regulations, a lot of stuff going on that's caused people to like start panicking. I was at a show in New York. I sense, you know, you get to feel the vibe in a room. You know when shit is good, when shit's weird, but people are nervous about what's going on. People are owed a lot of money, and it was interesting to feel that because I haven't felt that in a long time. And I think that's one of the cases where everyone jumped in and was trying to make as much money. They pillaged the vertical, and then now they're like, what the fuck do I do? So you're 100% right, and that's what I've been doing too. Solar has always been good for me. It started to go the other way. We still make money in solar, but we started getting all these other verticals that we got into some like stuff like debt that other people were into, but don't get me wrong, but we got into other shit, and now it's starting to pop. Took a little bit of time, took some money, but boom, now it's starting to work, right? So I think that's what you're saying. It's so critical now because everyone's fucking in the Ozempics, they're into the Torts, the ACAs and all that stuff, right? So it's very important to start doing this. And how do you identify those areas? Like, is it talking to the affiliate managers, or what's your recipe for that?
Yeah, I mean, and you're dead on, right?
Yeah.
Because again, going back to that herd mentality, it's like, oh shit, Dave's making money at this. I got to do that too, right? And then this is where I think spy tools have kind of ruined the industry, because all they're doing is going there saying, oh, this is the top spending one. I'm going to rip that. I'm going to do it too. But they have no business doing that. Like, it's not an angle that they even know works, right? So what I always tell people, when you're trying to research something, find the big thing that's out there, right? Like you said, Ozempic, right? If Ozempic is the big thing that's out there, right? You know what else is out there right now? There's Tort that's around Ozempic.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So if you know Ozempic's hot, find something else that's adjacent to that,
Yep.
right? Or if home services is super big, right? If solar's super big, and you have a bunch of home services data, find some other offer, like pest control, right? Like, I've been harping pest control for 6 months
It's
now.
evergreen too. Like
It's evergreen, right? You got homeowner data. You need homeowner pest control.
Let me tell you something. Not to go off subject. This is really related. So Chance, who's here, he sent me something earlier on Instagram about a guy making $1,000 a day leasing out his cats. Have you heard about this shit?
No.
It sounds fucking. I thought it was some bullshit. Like they're gonna like punk me at the end, right? So what happened was, he sends them out to restaurants, to hotels. What do you think he's doing this for? Like what restaurants, hotels? What?
I have no idea. Anxiety relief? I have no idea.
No, bro. Pests, rats, rodents, right? It makes yes. So check this shit out.
Wow.
He charges like, oh, you got fucking where are the rats? They're in the kitchen. He puts a cat in the motherfucker, $300, and then every time he catches a mouse, another $50 or whatever the fuck. So he's got like 10 cats. I live with him, and then boom, every day he goes to these places, pick them up, they do their work, because cats are natural predators. But it's related to what you're saying. Homeowners, pests, right? Fucking, hey, you got cats, you got your fucking, someone, and you heard a ton of cats, someone died, put those motherfuckers to work, get some ROI. New campaign, look.
You heard it here first. We're going to have a link by the end of this episode where you can rent cats for $300 a day. What an ingenious idea.
It's the pussy campaign.
It's the pussy campaign.
Without all the drama.
Without the drama.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, instead of taking all of that, like, find something that's adjacent. Everybody needs pest control, right? How many pest control? I mean, we're in Florida. You live in Miami, right? Like, you understand how pest control works. You get how that. Everybody needs it down here, regardless, right? Like. Take it and do that instead. You'll stand out. You'll do better. People haven't seen that before.
Why do you think people don't do that, though? And I have my thought process around it. And you talk about risk aversion versus before. People are more willing to take those shots. I mean, is it just that, as simple as that, or is it something else?
Honestly, I think it's a combination of risk aversion. It's also laziness, right? Like, I mean, think about it. I'm in this industry because I'm not good at physical labor. I am in this industry because I don't want to go to an office every day, right? Like, this is as dressed up as I've been all week, right? Like, I
appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I put on my nice hoodie for you today. But I get it, right? Like, I understand. Like, you know, a lot of people get into the industry because there's so many people on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They're like, I work an hour a day and I make 300 G's a month. It's like, that's not realistic. Do we know guys that do that? 100%. Is it possible? 100%. Does it take a ton of work? 100%. And you don't see that work, right? So if somebody's getting into the industry, let's just say they have an initial ad budget of 10 grand, right? They want to spend that 10 grand where they feel they have the best chance for success. And so you feel you have the best chance of success if you know that Chance is renting out cats to kitchens for $300 a day. Well, this sounds like a good investment for my $300, right? But not realizing that Chance probably did his research, probably did kind of figure out what the demographics were, probably did a ton of testing leading up to it, probably A/B tested the crap out of images and creatives and headlines, and did all of that work before he got to the point where he was making 300 G's a month on renting out cats, which if you're doing that, love it to death.
Great idea.
So that's where I think it comes from. It's a mix between risk aversion, but also a little bit of laziness. They don't want to put in the work.
And it probably ties into that herd mentality, like you say, and especially with social media. And I think that could be another thing. You know, social media keeps growing and growing year over year. And not that it wasn't big when you first got into it, but I feel like I wasn't in social media in 2012, 2013. I really got back involved in 2019, and it really recently started to really with the show, right? But the point is that I think people see, oh, they go to the shows, they see the social media, what are you doing? They see this guy driving this car, and like, oh, he's an ACA or he's in home improvement, I got to jump on it. And you know, Adam Young said something on one of the shows about, you know, if Dave says he's on solar, he's not going to get in solar because he knows nothing about solar. You get into something that you have familiarity with, that you have an edge. I had an edge in solar because I knew guys running call centers they trusted me. They're like, Dave, I need solar leads, and I was actually doing solar. That gave me a leg up. You know, so it comes down to what you're familiar with, what you have an understanding of, and not following that herd mentality, doing because no one was doing solar back when I got involved. I didn't know anyone fucking doing it. Or now, like in a year or 2 years, but everyone was doing it. And that was kind of like the peak. It's almost like stocks. Everyone's jumping in. You got to get the fuck out, man.
By the way, shout out to Adam Young, though.
Oh, absolutely, right? Yeah.
What an industry pioneer that guy is. I mean, just, you know, the book's amazing. Like everything. I mean, the guy is just changing the game. So shout out to Adam Young out there.
Yeah, I was on an IG Live in Pakistan, and people were talking about paper call. Like, read the book. It's all there. We did a podcast, 3-hour podcast. We should have charged for that. It was so many nuggets. I was there like blown away. And it comes down to experience. I mean, 13 years with you in the industry, right? He's been in, I think, 15, 20 years. So all that experience, it's worth something. It helps you collapse time frames at the end of the day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't see that, right? And then I think the other issue is these people out there that are, you know, selling these guru courses, right? It's like everything in those courses, for the most part, right, is typically obsolete. Now, I know there are some good guru courses and they're good masterminds within the industry. I'm not even going to blow them up because they got their own thing going on. And I don't want to like send a ton of things in there. But there's a lot of people I follow on TikTok or anything. I'll comment on it. I'm like, cool, you're in affiliate marketing and you're an expert. I've never heard of you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and they lead people down these paths where they end up being unsuccessful.
Or maybe they had success 5 or 6 years ago, but that's not applicable to now. Like it's like you talking about what worked when you first got into this industry. It's just not going to work now.
No. Yeah. Right now, honestly, like if I were to get into something, right? I'm a native guy, right? Like just because I'm not at a native platform anymore doesn't mean I don't still believe in that platform and other native platforms. I honestly would start a listicle, and I would find a vertical that wasn't really like too beat up yet, and I would start a listicle where I'd have 5 or 6 different cats,
pest control cats.
Well, even like accessories for cats. Yeah. How many crazy cat people are out there, right?
Yeah.
These are the top 5 best accessories for cats in 2024, right? And then I find somewhere that has cat products. I get my affiliate link. I write a little blurb, link right to their page, right? Yeah. Because no one's doing that. But how many crazy cat people are out there, right?
It's crazy. And no one's talking about this at the shows either.
No, nobody's talking about these shows. I've actually, and I was telling Chance about this earlier. I actually had one of my best experiences was Affiliate World years ago. And
which country was it?
It was Barcelona.
Barcelona, okay.
And James that you had on
James Van Elswick.
Yeah. He gave a whole thing on native, and it changed my world. Like everything that guy said was spot on.
We're gonna drop his podcast, I think, tonight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy. I mean,
that was one of the best. He blew my mind away.
And I remember talking to him afterwards because there was like a meet and greet, and I'm not gonna say which platform it was. It wasn't the one that I worked at. I literally lost like 10 grand on that platform. It was right when I transitioned from Facebook. And I'd asked him, I said, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I followed everything that my account manager had told me. And he goes, why are you listening to your account manager? If he was that good, he would be a native media buyer. And like, the light bulb went off. I'm like, you're right. And he gave me some tips that really helped me out. Like, and it's finding those people that actually care about raising the tide of the industry, who are actually putting good information and valuable information out there.
Age data. There's only a few months left of this.
A lot of different ways to monetize data. Data is a very broad term. There's a lot more money in it. You already spent the money. Let's just say it cost you $10 for a Medicare lead. You make $1 million in sales, you really only made $100,000.
And you might not get paid by your advertiser.
What if I can get an extra 50 cents, $1, $2, $3 per lead in perpetuity? What does that do to my marketing campaign? What does that do for the stress of the profits of my company? A percentage or two at those kind of numbers are huge as moving the needle. So for us, what I love about age data, the hard part's already been done. Now it's just the revenue left for your company. What would the extra $10, $20, $30,000 a week do for your business?
Absolutely.
All of our big partners are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions a year with us. They're never going to have this gold rush again.
And that's one of the things I love about the Affiliate World shows is like the speakers they get.
Oh, they're incredible.
I go almost just to learn, right? The networking is great, but I go to learn, right? Because if you're new in this industry, I would highly recommend sitting in on all of the seminars and all of the lectures that you can go. Go to some of the masterminds that are out there, because not only do you get to absorb really good knowledge, you get to network with some of the best people in the industry. And if I could give any advice, and you understand this, personal branding.
Huge.
Getting out there, putting yourself out there, creating a voice for yourself, right? Becoming somebody that becomes a thought leader, right? And my passion in this industry is to help lift other people up, right? I love talking to people who are new in the space, who come to me and say, what advice would you give me? And it's talk to everybody. Relationships in this industry are the most important thing. Relationships and your integrity. And if you can keep both of those things rising, you're going to go far, right? Like being able to be out there. And I love talking to new people. The first thing that I always ask people when I meet them, how can I help? What do you need from me? Do you need me to open a door? You need to meet somebody? You need advice? What can I do? And there are people that I've met on the very upswing of their career who I've been friends with for years, never worked anything together. Suddenly they find themselves in a position where we can work together and it's a no-brainer, right? Or I've been in positions where I needed help. I needed leads. I needed more traffic. I needed more offers. And I have a great network of people that I can reach out to for that. And you understand this more than most people. Like you've built this whole amazing podcast around providing value to people in the industry. And I appreciate that so much, because there needs to be more of that in this industry, of people willing to help other people, even if it means they don't get anything in return. And you two guys that put this on are some of the best people in the industry.
Yeah, no, it means a lot what you said, and the audience, listen to what Shaun just said. I mean, what you said was incredible. I know James Van Elswick for a long time. He really was really instrumental in me getting into the industry. I learned how to scale campaigns with him, and that's the kind of guy he is. I could see him talking to you. I can envision this, years ago, him doing that. And I think the other thing is that you had the balls to actually speak. There's people, especially I think a lot of media buyers, they're not really natural salespeople. They're more introverted. They like to be behind the computer. That's their gift, right? But you have to step up and get out of that comfort zone and ask questions. And at those shows, after an expert speaks, you might never see that person again face to face. And they might live 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 miles from you. Stand in the line or whatever. Use that time to speak to them. I've gotten deals off of that. I've made connections off of that. It's crazy, man. And I've had people where I've spoken on stage at Affiliate Road, people waiting to speak with me, and then boom, now we're doing business together, right? So you got to take advantage of that stuff.
Put yourself out there. It's the biggest advice I can get. And LinkedIn's great.
Yeah.
A lot of people sleep on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's not sexy like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, but that's where the fucking buyers are at.
Like I've been blessed enough to be able to grow my own LinkedIn presence over the last few years and get that out there. And you'd be surprised, like the amount of people that just you have access to, who you think, you know what? Like if I saw you speak at Affiliate World, right? Even if I couldn't find time to talk to you face to face, send you a LinkedIn message.
It's easier to access people on LinkedIn than it is in the other methods, I think, as well.
But it's important, I think, in this part of the conversation that I reveal something to you.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't have many things in this industry that upset me.
That you what?
That upset me.
Oh, upset you, okay.
That make my skin crawl, make my blood boil. You know what the number one thing that makes my blood boil is?
All right, it's got to do with LinkedIn. It's got to be like these cold DMs, like something along those lines.
What I call the pitch slap. You know, everybody, you know what the pitch slap is. I've talked about this before. When somebody sends you a connection request on LinkedIn, right? You're like, oh, dope, whatever. Like, yeah, I like this. Let me request it. And the second you accept that contact request, 5-paragraph essay, Calendly link at the bottom.
Yeah.
They did no research. And 9 times out of 10, they have no idea what I do or if it's even relevant, right? Like, I hate that. Like, I have information on LinkedIn. When I was, working at the native place, Rev Content for a while, I'm not in pay-per-call. I have nothing to do with calls. 9 messages a day. Are you buying or selling calls? 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 No. No, I am not buying or selling calls. Right?
Yeah.
Take time with it. Send an actual message that's not copy and pasted. Shaun, love your Skype profile picture. It's so fun, right? Which was taken here, right? Something that just says, hey, hey, I'm new in this space. I need some help. I'm curious to learn more about what you do. Great, I'm happy to tell you. But I'm not reading 5 paragraphs and then clicking your Calendly link so we can set up a call that has nothing to do with anything, right? So that is the pitch slap.
Yep.
That is my number 1 industry pet peeve. Don't pitch slap.
And that's huge because in the world of sales and what we're doing, we got to differentiate ourselves. If you're doing the same shit everyone else is doing, you're going to get the same results. There's a reason why 90% of people are fucking struggling or whatever. You got to be that 10%, 1% that's doing something different. And if you do look at the picture or you did your research, you're going to already stand out. And if you wait, you take your time to do what you're going to do, it's going to come across. See, I hate that too, man. It happens to me all the time, especially with the show now.
Now, I'm going to give a little LFG exclusive. I'm going to pull back the curtain, and I'm going to give you a tip that I've used on LinkedIn for years.
Boom.
That has made me a ton of money.
Here we go.
I send personalized videos on LinkedIn to people that I have identified as a good lead for me. A personalized video. So I'd be like, hey, David, really love the podcast that you're doing. I'm a big fan. I'm a follower. I'm a subscriber. I saw you're in the solar space. I've got a ton of homeowner data that I think would be really good because no one's sending for solar right now. Mm-hmm. I think this would be good for you. Is there a chance that maybe we could connect? Does it make sense to set up a call? You let me know. But my information's below. I hope you have a great day.
Wow. That's amazing. I love it.
How many personalized video messages?
No one's ever done that to me. And if they did, wow, that's great. You just made me think. So I have a biohacking doctor. He doesn't like to say biohacking, but when I first got connected with him, he sent me a video of him, and the guy's in shape and whatever. I'm like, bro, this guy looks great. And he talked good. I didn't realize he was from Jersey, but he kind of talked like I talk, and boom, I signed up the next week. But he separated himself.
Yep.
And that helped. Who knows? Maybe he didn't do that. It would have taken another month or 2 or whatever. But I was like, yo, I like this fucking guy already. Right? He separated himself. No one else. That's the first one that I ever did, and that wasn't through LinkedIn. That was an SMS.
How many personalized video messages do you have in your LinkedIn? 0. You too.
But I can attest that I know you sent me one at one point years ago. So I can
and you remember that.
And it works.
It works.
And you remember that. How many? You must have got 1,000, 2,000 since then. He's that's less than 1%.
The one I sent him, I was shirtless though. So
thankfully
were you really shirtless?
No.
I thought you were. I'm like, we gotta get that video. That's why I just wanted the video so we can put it on the show. Listen, that's LFG exclusive content.
That's for my OnlyFans and OnlyFans only.
Bro, this is good. You guys missed. We have the pussy offer we're about to do. It's about pest control. No, it's not what you think it's about, right?
Not what you think.
Yeah, not what you think, guys. Come on. And then we got this LinkedIn strategy. Boom. We got to start charging for this shit. This is like fucking.
I'm telling you, it only works if they're a solid lead. Like, don't just cold video. I don't want to get 19 video messages tomorrow in my LinkedIn inbox because find somebody that actually makes sense. And it's one shot, one kill on that.
Bro, that is such a great idea. I love it, man. Like, my brain, I get excited when I hear that kind of shit because, like, my brain's already, like, I want to call the sales. I'm like, yo, motherfuckers, let's do this right now. Come on, man.
And it tell you, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Like, take 2 seconds, look at it. And I trained SDRs like this. I said, I'm not paying you based on how many messages you send out. I'm paying on how many leads you set up.
Yep.
how many calls you set up, right? I want you to find the ones that are a fit. Even if you only give me 2 meetings a week, as long as they're like solid
That's
fits,
all you need.
That's
Yeah.
all I need. I don't want to waste my time.
Time is
right?
money, man. Yeah.
And so, like, you know, when you're developing talent and you're bringing talent up, teach them about the value of quality over quantity. This industry isn't a boiler room where it's just like the more dials you make, the more calls you get. You know, no, like it's quality over quantity.
Which is what you learned initially, because you were used to doing.
I was that guy,
the door-to-door guy, the hard no sale, and you have to get a train kicked out of you, right?
Smiling and dialing. You know, that was the thing. The more doors you knock, the more sales you get. Get out there, right? This industry is so much different. And I was lucky enough to have really great mentors early on. And I'm not going to shout them out because they don't like when I shout them out. They know who they are, who instilled a lot of this stuff in me 12 years ago.
Yep.
That I have taken with me and that's worked since then, that I have trained other people with. And it's just about, like you said, setting yourself apart. Doesn't matter if you're media buying, if you're prospecting on social media, if you're at a show and you're networking, like, how many people know me because of the bright orange pants that I
How
wear?
was you? You know what's funny? I just thought about that right now. You talked about shows and how when I first saw you, and I see you many times with bright colors on and whatever. Yeah, it's amazing. When I first started, I was wearing these like bright blazers, pink blazers, like nice looking blazers, but people knew me as a blazer guy initially.
Yeah, I'm the orange pants guy.
Wow.
But you do that because you want to set yourself apart.
100%.
Right? Like one of the books that I've read, and I'm an avid reader, was The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Great book.
Right? And there's a law in that book that says court attention at all costs. Force people to come to you. Set yourself apart. Right? What's better than bright orange pants?
100%. Yeah.
People came up to me at shows like, dude, what's with the pants? I got to know. What's with the pants? Dude, those are great pants. Right? And, you know, Affiliate Summit, right? It's coming up.
Yep.
You might have a meeting with somebody you don't know. What's better than like at the bar, bright orange pants?
100%. Yeah, it's the worst when you can't find someone at those shows.
Yeah, because then you're walking around like this.
Like a jerk off.
Tom?
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah.
Tom? You know, it's just like, you know, I'm not that guy. Bright orange pants. Now, here at Diablo, I got some fire red pants.
Nice.
They're
Are you going to wear them at the ASC?
Oh, yeah. No, they're at my tailor. Shout out to Florence here in Delray Beach. Florence has got them right now. She's tailoring them up because I have the weirdest body proportion ever.
Leather?
No, I wish. Please.
Dude, I love having an audience, too. It's like
But you got me thinking. I might need to get some red leather pants. Now I'm going to go home and Google red leather pants for a man with a big belly and short legs. But yeah, it's all about setting yourself apart, right? And making that difference.
Yeah, and you know, you got me thinking because I'm a big believer, especially after starting the LFG show. It's really wild to me how we work with all these media buyers. People put up stupid numbers. This guy's doing 100 grand a day, 200, 300, 400 grand a day in revenue. Oh, you've probably seen guys do more than that. But their branding sucks. They have no LinkedIn presence. Mine was soup, truthfully, back in years ago. It's gotten better and better, and Chance has done a great job of building it up. But
Shout out to Chance.
Shout out to Chance. Chance in the back out, wearing the No Money, No Honey t-shirt.
That's right.
So the point I'm trying to say is that they know how to get people to click on ads. They know how to do this crazy fucking way, ad copy, this and that, but they get shy about promoting themselves. It's crazy, and I'm realizing even when I'm interviewing people, I'll have some chance to see it. I've had some titans putting up stupid fucking numbers a year, like talking 9 figures a year in revenue, and then they're like, "Man, I came off looking terrible." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You came out looking good," but like people are so self-conscious, so you got to break through that because really that's going to help you set yourself apart at the end of the day. You might be putting up good numbers now, but what's to say that's going to happen tomorrow? These guys are doing ACA, they got fucking crushed. What are they pivoting to next? So that brand recognition is what's going to help you stand, and whether it's going to shows, and it kind of complements you. When you go to the show, people are like, "Oh, I saw you on that podcast, or I saw you speak here, or I saw you, wearing those pants on LinkedIn, whatever." That shit goes a long way. So it's mind-boggling to me how there's such a big disconnect between these amazing media buyers who are just terrible. And I think maybe, if I had to say it, I'd probably say there's 1 to 3% that are actually good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that led me to make the move to Diablo, right, is Diablo's been around for 18 plus years.
Yeah.
They've got really good industry presence. I feel like they have a really good sense of how the industry works and the importance of relationships. They've done really good branding themselves. Like ownership is really great. And so when I was making the transition, I wanted to go somewhere that had that industry presence already, right? Like it is tiring for me to have to come in and then carry the weight of also being the presence for that company, right? With Diablo, like it's a doors already open there. And what they've got with the affiliate network side, and they've done a really good job of building up a really good, strong affiliate base of vetted, strong affiliates. They have a really good group of advertisers and campaigns with great payouts. We have an internal product. We have all of our own owned and operated pages. We have our own path. And then what a lot of people don't know is we have a really good data management and data monetization department as well. So when I started, I didn't realize anything beyond a lot of the network capabilities. But once I've kind of gotten in there and been able to kind of work with the team, see where we're at, there's a lot of different opportunities there. And one of the things that excites me the most about that is a lot of affiliates and a lot of media buyers out there aren't taking advantage of the big picture of all of the different opportunities they have. They're so laser focused on, I have traffic here, I send traffic here, I get money here. But there's so many other opportunities to collect data, to do retargeting, to look at other areas of revenue that you can work on bringing in other than just the binary, I send traffic, they send money, right? There's so many other opportunities to venture into different traffic sources. Like if you're only running Facebook right now, like why not get into native traffic? Nothing's stopping you. If you can navigate the waters of Facebook and the complicated ads manager and the platform and all of that stuff, native is easy, right? Like native is easy. And if you want to get into native, shameless plug for my boy Will, who works over at Rev Content. Will is immensely talented, and he will help you get into it if you want to get into it. Shout out to Will. Have to do that because he's my boy. Love to see him succeed. But get into those things, right? Start experimenting. Start collecting data. Start doing email, right? Like data is huge. There's so many opportunities, and so many people are just sitting on a mountain of data they're doing nothing with. Why, right? Like that's what excites me about this opportunity that I've got is we have the ability, like they have foresight into what other areas can we do to make money? And they've literally answered the call every single time. So if you're out there and you're only focused on one thing, branch out. Go to these shows like Affiliate Summit. Go to Affiliate World. Meet people. Shake everybody's hand. Figure out what they do. Ask how you can help. Diversify out. Find other opportunities to make money and grow your revenue.
Great advice. And I can't emphasize that. What you're saying is amazing. I want people to hear that again because it's out there for you. The gold's under your feet. Get the gold, make the connections, and talk to people. The more you talk to people, the more you're going to find them. And the people are willing to help out. Like you say, you ask people, how can I help you? You talk to the right people. I mean, by you talking to James at their show, they'll help you collapse timeframes. I'm a big believer in how can I get from A to Z as quick as possible. You got to go to an expert that's already doing it. And you talk to him maybe a few minutes and boom, he saved you so much fucking time and money, right, at the end of the day. So it's out there. That's a beautiful thing about the industry.
And there are people who are genuinely looking to help, right? We all are here because somebody sent the ladder down for us. So I think we have a responsibility to put the ladder back down for the next generation coming up. And I'll tell you, I've taken so many calls that benefited me nothing. But I was able to find out what they were looking for, connect them with who they were looking for. Like even right now, whenever somebody's out of a job, I'm typically the first person they come to. Hey, what do I do? Hey, do you know anybody looking? Like, I don't know where to start my search, right? And I'm there to help, right? They start a new job. Like, do you know any good affiliates? Do you know any good media buyers? Do you know any good offers, right? Like, be that resource for other people. So if you're a veteran out there and you're shunning those people and you're not taking those calls, like take those calls. Get on that call, right? Because that person that you help today might start their own company that could make you $1 million tomorrow. You just don't know.
That what you said is so important, is so massive, and I'm a good example of this. So I have someone that I used to do a lot of business with in solar, right? And something happened. I don't know what happened. Wasn't there anymore. It was shifted, went away from one place to another. Didn't work out. And gave him advice. Hooked him up with a bunch of people. Lo and behold, 2 months ago, gets into another company, man. Completely different vertical. Bro, we're about to hit 200 grand this month for them. First fucking month, and the KPIs are amazing. You know, I'm gonna get this campaign 500,000, $1 million a month.
Yeah.
Now. You know, and it's all because of those little things. And when someone's going through a hard time, if you're there for them, and I'm not saying you do this to, because I wasn't expecting shit.
Nope.
And like you said, there's been so many times I've had these conversations with people, I was like that ear to listen to or whatever, and nothing came of it. I wasn't expecting anything, but that's just one of those examples where you just do the right thing. Eventually, the right thing will come back to you. And sometimes it doesn't happen right away. Like my business partner Ed, I met this guy in 2017 at ASE in New York. We didn't fucking do business for like a year. Then we did tiny amounts of business. And bro, fucking 4 years later, we merged, one of the fastest growing companies in the industry. We got tons of different verticals going on, like very diversified different revenue streams. But that's what happens. You don't have to expect this shit to happen right away. It takes time. But if you do the right thing, this shit will come back to you one way or the other.
100%. And I practice what I preach, right? My nephew, sitting right back there, recently got into the industry, working for a company that does marketing for gyms. I've been sitting there listening to him all week, working, putting together content, writing scripts, learning about media buying. Like, that's why I wanted to bring him today, because I wanted him to see how good this industry can be for people, right? And whatever that kid needs back there, I'm willing to help.
Yeah, I love it. And that's shit. You never know. He might get involved with something and boom, it opens doors. Yeah.
That kid right there is my retirement plan.
I love it, man.
So
that's my kids too. I gotta train their asses up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you could have a chance to help. And if you need help, reach out. Like, I don't care if we get on a call and you just ask me questions for an hour and there's no benefit to me. I want to help you. If I can introduce you to somebody, if you're looking for something, like, let me be that resource. Let me be that person.
Great stuff, man. So now we just talked about a lot of good. We talked about all these beautiful things we like about the industry. I want to talk next about what's the shit you don't like. What's like the icky shit, man, that fucking drives you nuts?
Man, well, we covered the pitch slap.
Yeah.
Number one. But with Affiliate Summit coming up, right? I tell you what, like, I've worked the meat market several times, right? And ASE is not as bad as ASW. But one of the things that I can't stand is when you're working the booth, somebody comes up, you've both realized there's no business to be done, and then they just keep talking and talking and talking. And then you're watching people that are good leads walk by and talk to somebody else, or they're going to the booth of your competitor and it's just like, okay, let's move on. Like, I hate the people that linger at the booth to linger. Yeah. It's like there is a large floor there. There is a lot of people to talk to. Like, I get that I like to talk. I am a people person. And the thing is, I don't have the self-control to tell you I'm done talking. I will sit there because I'm polite, and I will keep talking and engaging.
What are you thinking on the inside?
Please stop talking to me. Oh my God, did that person just walk by? I know they're running a ton of leads right now.
Yeah.
I need that person. Like, what am I going to do later? Which happy hour is it? Do I have enough liquid IV with me for this trip? Did I bring Visine? Do I have Imodium? Like, it's just like, oh man, I hate that so much. Just, or worst case scenario, you're at the Chandelier Bar, which I
love the Chandelier Bar.
I call it my second home.
Boom.
It's weird though. I tell you, it's weird when you go to the Chandelier Bar when you're there for like personal reasons.
Oh, it's way different.
And there's civilians there.
Yeah,
and you're like, who are these people?
It's like
right?
It's like 1950s with black and white TV. It's just this fucking sucks.
But you've been there, like you're at the Chandelier Bar, you're having a meeting, you're engaging, this is good, and then somebody just walks up and is like, "What are you guys talking about?" Fuck.
Yeah.
It's so those are the things I hate. Like, don't interrupt meetings and don't linger at somebody's booth. If you've already swapped information, move it on. Unless you're talking about business, just trying to close, shout out to people that are closing. But if there's nothing closing, then you got to keep it going.
Yeah. Dude, that's great. I agree with you. I'm trying to think what my worst...
Yeah, what's your industry?
Man.
What do you hate? Besides Miami traffic.
Yeah, Miami traffic and the drivers, man. They drive me nuts. But anyway, probably there's something similar. I'm not on Skype much, but when I got so many Skypes. I got like thousands of these motherfuckers, man. It's like nonstop. You buy leads, you buy calls. Like they're just cold hitting you up, maybe because they saw me somewhere and not understanding what I do, man. And just you trying to, what happens is you're trying to find a fucking message. You got to go through all this kind of stuff. So that drives me nuts. And I guess it comes down to you as a salesperson, someone that got into sales, man. I've been in sales fucking over 20 years. I think there's an art to it. I love the art of sales. And I think that's what you were saying. That's what bothers you as well. You gotta, if you respect the art and you do the steps you're supposed to do, it'll pay you back, right? So when I see people try to like jump through that or try to get from point A to point Z, and like I want to get there quick, don't get me wrong, but there's certain steps you got to follow too, especially in the sales process. So that drives me nuts. And then when I see other people from other companies, they might seem like they're nice people. Maybe they weren't trained properly. I don't know what it is, but you got to train yourself. You got to take that kind of the initiative to get better is what it comes down to. And I think that our industry it could jade people, because you see, especially on social media, you might see this person driving this or doing that or wearing that watch, and then you're like, boom, I want to get there. Or if I'm not at that level, I'm not successful. But everyone is at where they're supposed to be at that time. And that could be bullshit. That might even be a real fucking watch. So I think don't get caught up in that kind of stuff. So I think that when people, they get caught up in it and they try to cut corners or they bullshit you. Really, I guess my biggest thing is the bullshitting that goes on.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like the longer you're in this game, you get more of a bullshit detector. I've talked about that before. But every so often, the shit gets under you, especially with fucking referrals. The times I got burned, someone I trust refers someone to me, and it doesn't happen often. 90-something% of the time it'll be fine, but that 5 or 10%, that's when you really get fucking burned. You let your guard down. So we put things in place in our company to prevent that, like ways. Okay, they passed my SIF test. Now they got to go this. We got compliance. We got this. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably my biggest thing, is people trying to collapse timeframes the wrong way by not respecting the art of sales, and also just bullshitting their way through it. Eventually, you're going to get caught, man.
Bullshit referrals are the absolute worst.
Yeah, I'm getting pissed off just thinking about it, man. It's a fucking waste of time.
Like,
it's like,
I am.
Dude, man. You know.
But you know what's one thing that I've seen over the last decade or so is the industry's grown up a lot.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that more professionalism and more like actual business, type of things, I think has come from the amount of women that we now have in leadership.
Yeah,
in
that's
this
a great
industry.
point. Glad you brought that up.
Like right now, I have tons of FOMO because all of my friends are at Link Unite in Nashville, right? Like the movement that Amanda and Sarah have started there about not only like empowering the women in the industry, but like networking them together and creating this group. Like the industry has become leaps and bounds since, because when I got in it, I mean, it was a boys club. It was the Wild
I can't
West.
imagine, man. Wow.
It was a weird place back then, but we have grown up so much and we've gotten so much better. And I personally attribute it to the fact that we've got more women in leadership in this industry, and I think much more is even needed. So I love the fact that you've got the Link Unite crowd, you've got the female entrepreneurs and the business owners groups, and you've got the more of that, the better. And I am the biggest advocate of all of that because it really helps make the industry more legitimate. But I think it helps grow the industry and helps all of us make more money because of their influence and what they're doing. It's phenomenal.
And it's always become a self-policing at that point, because if you're a female in Link Unite, you're obviously going to look to grow the organization, be a good representative of the organization. If you screw something up, that's going to look bad on them. It's a reflection. You're not going to be part of that, right? So you kind of have, it's like someone watching over you without watching over you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I mean, again, if you're a woman in the space and you haven't joined Link Unite yet or haven't gotten involved in that kind of movement, I encourage you to do so. Like I said, they're all in Nashville right now at an amazing retreat. I know some of the different speakers they're going to have. I'm jealous I can't be there.
Yeah, I wish I was there time. I'm sure it's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to hear about it after the weekend's over and to see everybody in New York. But you know what? I'm here at the LFG show.
Yeah.
And we are making a difference here right now with our audience of hundreds that are back there.
And a bunch of beer over there, too.
And a bunch of beer over there. So I think those things are what really help push us forward. And the more of that we get, the less we get of the bullshitters and the people that can't make it. This industry, I feel, does a great job of removing the people that don't belong in it. Every 2, 3, 4 years, there's like this thing that comes around and just washes a bunch of people away. And I think it's the best thing ever.
That's a great point, man. My first LeadsCon I ever went to was in 2017. First affiliate summit was 2017. And I would love to go back in time in a time machine, because there were some people I saw the first 2 or 3 years, and it turned out they're a bullshit artist, right? And then they're gone. They like every year there's an attrition that happens. And then you get some new bloods that come in as well. But it's an awesome thing, and it's just one of those things where it's an industry that rewards the right shit.
Yep.
You do wrong shit, boom, you get the reputation, and then you might make a mistake here or there. But you fix a mistake, great. People will fucking appreciate that. But you keep doing the same shit, it spreads, and then boom, your income is going to go down dramatically. You're going to be in another business is what's going to happen. So that's what I like about it. But bro, I keep thinking about that. The first LeadsCon, the first affiliate summit, I remember faces, man. I haven't seen these fucking guys in years and years and years. Like, what happened to them? It's because it's the industry, man. If you do the right thing, you stay right with the right principles, it's going to come back to you. It really does. It's a boomerang.
100%. And this is what I tell people all the time. Like, go to the shows. Go to as many shows as you can go to, right? Because the more that you're in front of people, the more that you see people, the more people see you, the more trust is built, the more relationships you can build. And I always tell people in this industry, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind.
100%.
Because if I'm an affiliate and I'm spending 100, 200 grand a month, I want to know that your company is going to pay me. And if you're at every affiliate summit, every affiliate world, then you're not. Yeah. I assume that you don't have money and I have to worry about getting paid, right? But there's also like so many people that look at it from a different perspective. Like you have to look at it, if I don't go, what am I missing out on, right? Sure, there's an expense to sending people. There's an expense to going. But it's a chance for you to network in person, which is super important because you can develop those relationships. But it's also important to be seen, right? I'm going to have bright red pants on. People are going to see me. They're going to associate me with Diablo. And that's what I want. Because Diablo is my home. Those are my people right now. And I am happy to be there. And I want to let the world know that Diablo is here. We have a presence. We are open for business. And we are doing well, right? But the second you stop going to these things, people are going to start wondering.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, what happened? Like, oh, you guys still good? You didn't have a booth this year. Yeah, no, we're good. And it's like, are you good? Yeah. Like, and you start wondering. And like you said, to your point, going to shows in 2017, like I would love to see a list of people at Affiliate Summit East 2017 who are also still there in 2024. Well,
the companies and the exhibitors, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like you have your mainstays that I would trust with, anything because they've been there. But there's so many companies out there that come in, spend 20, 30, 40K on sponsorships, and they're all over. And next year, where are they?
Yeah. It's crazy. That longevity, man.
Relationships, integrity, bringing it all back, right?
Yeah.
Just Chance told me that. He's like, you got to bring it all back at the end. You got to do a throwback to the beginning of the episode so we can tie it all back in so the promo looks good.
I love it. Another thing I want to talk about is we're talking about Affiliate Summit Alliance. It's in 4 weeks. It's funny because I don't know what's going on recently. Maybe it has to do with COVID, but these conferences are being jammed up. In March, there was a ton. April, I was in Vegas 3 times in April, man. Utah once. It was insane. And then so there's been a little bit of a lull, which has been great in terms of getting back to people following up, because that's the other aspect of it. So now it's about to start again. We got Affiliate Summit, first conference in a while. Then there's Contact.io coming up right after that. Then there's Affiliate World. So it's going to get crazy again. But what kind of, what are you looking forward to with Affiliate Summit? And another question is, any tips on navigating it? Because it's not as big as ASW, but it's still a big show. And you're in New York, there's a lot of shit going on.
So I'm going to reveal some more stuff. These are personal secrets
That's
of mine.
That's what I was trying to get to.
It's things that I've been doing that there are not many people in the industry that know how I work these. So I love shows because I'm a people person, right? Like I work in an office in my house largely by myself, right? I crave people for energy. Like I need that after a while. So going to these shows is so great because I get the energy of seeing the people. So a couple things that I do. I like to wear pants with different pockets, because I will triage cards that I get based on the opportunity.
Great advice.
Right? Like if you go into the back left, that's the money pocket, right?
Back left.
If you go front right, you're probably not even getting a follow-up from me, right? So I like to make sure, because at the end of the day, you don't know. You're like, oh, which ones are good, which ones are bad, and you have to sift through there. No. Front right goes right into the suitcase. I don't throw them away. Right in the suitcase, I'll deal with them later. Back left is the money pocket. I will email them follow-up questions or follow-up emails that night in the hotel room. I get back, boom, right there, done. Because I don't want to get home, right? Because again, standing out, that first day back after the show, everyone's sending up, everybody's inboxes are flooded. I like to get to them that night. Hey, great meeting you today. Let me drop my link. Let's set up a meeting for when we get back. Pick any time that makes sense, right?
Yep.
Done, right? Also, if they don't have a card, I like to take a quick selfie with them and then text them my information and say, this is Shaun from Diablo Media. I'm excited to talk about, homeowner data, right? And then I remember what they look like. I got their name, I got their information, and I'm good, right? It's another way to do it. The other thing that's really important to do, and the biggest lie that you'll tell, and I hope you tell it a million times, hey, I'll be right back, right? Once I'm in the conversation, once we're good, we've gotten to that point, again, where we're just bullshitting, I need to move on, right? Like, hey, listen, I love this, I'll be right back, right? And then also try to work every room. Do a lap. Stop at every booth, grab cards, talk to people. Try to talk to as many people as you can. You're only there for 2-3 days, right? Work everything. wear comfortable shoes, right? You can sleep when you get home. Try to hit every event you can, talk to everybody in every event, get out there. The more people you meet, the more relationships you can start working on, and the more business you can get, right? But I like to email that night, back left pocket. They all get emails that night, right away. So it's fresh in the inbox.
I love the selfie idea. I've been doing that a lot more recently. You talk to so many damn people, especially if it's a big opportunity. Hey, they're getting a selfie, they're getting a text right away so you stand out. Because how many people are doing that? I bet you only maybe, I would say 10%, 15% if you're lucky, they're actually doing that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that there's a warped sense of time at especially in Vegas, man. I don't know what the fuck it is in Vegas. I'm there, and man, and especially I'm an East Coast guy, and when I'm there, I'm like, I don't set meetings for me. So I'm missing all my fucking meetings. I'm there. It's all messed up. But the point is that you feel like you might, even like a show like ASW or was Elite, there's one that was 3 days. Those 3 days are like a day. Because the show's like, usually like 9 to 4, 9 to 5, or 10 to whatever. There's a half day. And it goes by so fast. It's incredible. So you really, like you said, you got to really be cognizant of your time and what you're doing.
Yeah, triage your time. Figure out where the best opportunities are. Big on setting up meetings before you go, right? Like, I like to be one of the first people out there on LinkedIn saying, hey, going to be at Affiliate Summit East, here's my link, right? Like, I like to be first out there because I've been in the position where it's like I decide last minute to go, and then all the good meetings are already taken, right? Like, I'm going out there scouting, hoping I can put something together. But, do your homework. Go to LinkedIn, click #ASE, look at all of the posts, reach out to people, engage with all of those posts. Because when you engage with all of those posts and you comment on all of them, when you get to ASE, it's like, dang, dude, I've seen you all over LinkedIn. You're that guy from LinkedIn. Like, oh, dude, you're on everything, right? Like, stand out, put the time, put the effort in to work the show properly, right? I don't think that there is a show that I can even recall where I haven't came back with ROI.
Yeah.
I will find a way to make ROI, right? Because I'm there for a purpose. So many people, and like I did a whole thing when I started at Rev Content. I have a whole blog post out there called The Do's and Don'ts of Affiliate Summit. How I get away with going, I mocktail it, right? Like I wear comfortable shoes. I choose between staying out late or getting intoxicated, right? If I'm staying out late, I'm not getting intoxicated. If I'm not staying out late, then I might have a few more, right? Like how early do I have to be up in the morning? There's a whole science behind it.
Yeah.
And you have to really live to the code, right? Now, there are exceptions. You know what I'm talking about. You got a whale in town. He's only in town that first, because I usually, first night before meat market, I'm not drinking. I am not drinking the night before meat market because I got to work that booth all day. And I do not want to sit at that booth, looking at you. I don't want to sit at that booth, and I want to be hungover all day because I'm not going to get any business done, right? So, but if there's a whale in town, says, I'm only in town tonight, let's go out. You got to do what you got to do.
You make it happen.
Right? You make it happen. But it's all about, again, contacts. Talk to people. Set yourself apart.
Yeah, that was fantastic what you just said. I do believe I should put down what I do because those events to me are like the fucking playoffs. Sometimes some of them are the Super Bowl for your year. You can make your year. You can make your fucking career off one of those shows.
100%.
Right? So you got to be at multiple places. You got to be out late, and you're right. You sleep when you get home. I mean, there's been at some of those shows 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like four to 6 hours over 3 days I've slept. And I'm like, why the fuck do I do this to myself? But bro, the amount of business that gets done at the after parties, early morning breakfast, it works, man. You can't deny it, and especially if you do it right. So yeah, I'm glad that you did that, man. And I should probably have I have similar rules to yours as well, but everyone's got to have that game plan. If you go there without a fucking game, listen, we're talking about playoffs.
Yeah.
These coaches have a game plan, and they have things if the game plan doesn't go through. Like you said, there's a well in town. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. You got to go there with a fucking game plan. If you don't, you're going to miss out, man. You can miss out to your competitor.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're here in South Florida, right? Shout out to Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champions. What's up? Paul Maurice had a game plan. But sometimes any well plan can go off the rails at any time, and you got to make that adjustment to come back, right? So it's the same with Affiliate Summit. Like, you got to know, like, I got to push this hard this day. I got to back off this day. I could take a little break here. I could take a little break there.
There's a rhythm.
But it is game time. The second you get off that plane, like I want to have meetings set up. When I get off that plane, I go right to a meeting.
Nonstop.
I'm throwing my stuff at the front desk at the hotel, take it up to the room. I'm business mode. I'm out there. And that's how you got to handle those shows. A lot of people go to those shows and like, oh, I'm here to party. I'm here to work. Because if I don't come home with 10 times ROI on what the company spent to put me out there, I failed, right? Now, there might not be ROI that you get right after the show, right? But you should be able to look back at the 12 months from a show and say, here's the ROI I made directly from that show. And it's important to track all of that. All those leads you get should go into some kind of system, whether it's a Google Doc or something, so you can attribute where you met that lead. So you can figure out the ROI from each specific show. Because there are so many now, right? Like when I got in, there was Affiliate Summit East, Affiliate Summit West, there was Ad Tech in San Fran, and there was maybe one other one. But now there's so many shows, and they're all great because we've niched out, which is fantastic. But it's really good, and you have to track the ROI from those shows to make sure, like, next year, which ones are we going to go to where we can maximize the opportunity? Which ones do we get a booth at? Which ones do we just send 1 or 2 people? Which ones do we sponsor a party, right? And you're not going to get that without tracking those opportunities.
Yep. Great advice, man. And the other thing is that it might not, you might meet someone, I got a couple situations like this. I met them at Affiliate World a couple years ago, and they were in a vertical I wasn't even in. But sometimes you want to be in that vertical, you stay in touch with them, you go back to that master sheet and you put a simple thing. Maybe it's fucking final expense or whatever. Yep. Control F, final expense. Hey, are you still doing that? Whatever. And it's good to have that system, because if you don't have that system, you don't have that person's card, you're going to forget. It's happened to me too on the other side where I don't know what the hell I did. I lost a damn card. I can't find the number. I know I had it somewhere and like it's gone. And like, what the hell? I mean, it rarely happens, but it's happened to me too. And I'm pretty good. I'm pretty militant when it comes to this shit. But even it happens to the best of us. So the better your system is, the less likely that shit's going to happen.
The front right pocket people.
Yeah.
I told you I don't throw those away. I have an old school like baseball card binder.
Wow.
Where all of those cards live. Because I never know. I might have to go back and figure out like, who was that the guy that I talked to, right? I save all. I've got cards from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
You never know. You never know. Fucking love it. This has been amazing.
Chance is standing up now, so I know we got to wrap this up. He's standing up.
No, this has been amazing, man. I mean, God, whenever you have time, whenever you have anyone in life has the ability to talk to someone who's been doing something for a long time, they've mastered the craft, right? So you got to learn from them. So that's how I look to you as, and a lot of people we try to have on the show. But there haven't been many people on the show who've been doing this for more than a decade, man. So the fact that you've done this over a decade, man, says a lot. And I love everything you talked about. You talked, man, you pull back the curtain, man. Give us some good nuggets here, and fucking excited.
All boats rise, you know, and like just want to shout out to Diablo Media. Like, happy to be there. If you want to work with Diablo, you want to work with me, shout out. I'm sure Chance is going to put the link for me, or how do you get a hold of me somewhere. And also shout out to the best nephew in the world back there. His name is Riley. I'm going to tag him in my LinkedIn profile too. Go ahead and follow him. Shoot him a connection request. Let's blow him up a little bit too.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. We'll put a link so people can follow you. I'm going to be doing shit with Diablo. We talk offline about a bunch of stuff. Good shit, my man.
Dude, good shit.
Follow man Shaun Hole. Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's fucking go. Done.
That was good, man. Good shit, man.
That was good.